one of the incredible stories has been the return of Tyson Forrester.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Like, I mean, nobody thought that Tyson Forrester would be able to come back.
Mm-mm.
So, every other week we love talking to our Rothman docs, and I want some insight on that whole thing because it's a huge, like, he's been a big time, like, Martone comes, but so does Forrester, and having a real sniper and that shot back helps. Let's welcome Dr. Benjamin Rogers from our good friends at Rothman Orthopaedics. Dr. Ben, how are you? Good morning.
Fellas, good morning. Thanks for having me on. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we got you great. You look great. You sound great. It's fantastic. How flyered up are you right now?
Can't wait. My wife and I live about a mile from the stadium in South Philly. I'm a Philly native, so hard not to be romantic this time of year with the Flyers back in the playoffs. Sixers, they'll draw like a heated rival here. This is the best time of year for sports, in my opinion. So this is, city's got to be charged up.
You're a true sportsman. I love it, man.
Amen
we even
to
got
that.
Phillies Braves over the weekend, too.
Nothing like having a rival in town, and supposed to be getting good weather. Great night for baseball tonight. I'll have family in the park tonight, too. So it's great time of year for sports.
My man. Now, one of the great stories of the Flyers has been a return of Tyson Forrester. Now, we know you're not his doctor, but we're talking about the injury that he suffered and coming back from that arm surgery. It's been such a big deal for the Flyers. Nobody thought, Doc, that he'd be able to come back. What do you think was the story here?
Yeah, absolutely. So to dovetail on that, I'd like to note I'm not providing any specific medical advice or commenting on the care or treatment of any one individual player, and that these comments are intended to be more general to provide insight. We think about people coming back from, upper extremity surgery, whether that be shoulder, elbow, wrist, hand, all that stuff, especially if, there's any form of, surgical intervention involved. You're expecting these people to go through a period of, immobilization, protected weight bearing, allow for healing. And then, it's sort of, depending on the nature of the operation, they're, working through a gradual progression, getting their motion back and ultimately their strength back. These guys are, they're freaks of nature. They take great care of their bodies. You've seen it throughout the years in all various sports, people coming back, at various time points along the continuum in their rehab. Obviously, the type of procedure kind of will dictate timing and return. But the fact that he's made such a dramatic turnaround and is being back, really not only is a huge boost to the team, but obviously really exciting to have him be part of the fold again. You have to think certainly he's met all the milestones necessary to get back out there to be an asset. It's really really remarkable.
With these sorts of injuries and this recovery from the surgery, what is like the lingering effects like on the route to being 100%?
Yeah, it's a great question. Like I said, it depends on the nature of the operation. Sometimes post-operatively, folks can develop a little stiffness, a little scar tissue, depending on the type of procedure that's done. Obviously, they're working back not only to be mobile again, but also get all that strength back after that period laid up. And then it's about getting their lungs and legs under them again, back on the ice. Feeling the stick in the hand, puck handling, working their shot back. Certainly when you think about the mechanics of hockey, that the lead hand or that dominant hand, bottom hand, plays a really important role in touch. It plays a really important role in shot. So you think about the bottom hand being like the real loader and the lever there, especially for these high velocity slap shot guys. Finding that feel again in touch after an operation, can take time. But that's what you're working through post rehab once you're back out on the ice, working through things. Learning, feeling, getting your body again, getting checked again, all that stuff after progressing to that contact phase of return to play. But, I would say, having that touch and feel back after some time, particularly for folks who have been laid up for a while, is one of those lingering things you do wonder and worry about. But, like I said, have to think he's met those milestones and demonstrated, the ability to be a huge asset to the team.
Is there any, because obviously you know, Doc, about playoff hockey and the physicality that takes place. Is there any re-injury concerns when you're dealing with that kind of physicality?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have to tell you, hockey's a rough sport. It's a high velocity sport. Um, you know, athlete safety, no matter the level, right? Professional all the way down through Pee Wee, athlete safety is paramount. So post-operatively and post-procedurally, people who are recovering from injuries, you have to believe, he's you talk about medical clearance, like he's met those milestones to be out there and put his body on the line. I bet if you pulled that entire locker room or every locker room around the NHL, these guys at this time of the year, are dealing with aches and pains and little things. But they grind through it. They're impressive athletes. These guys are elite. They're at the top of the game. Theoretically, yes, is there a risk of re-injury in the sport? Sure. Is he at more risk than the average player? Hard to say. Having met the requirements to get back out there and participate, he's definitely demonstrated the confidence to do that. The last, one of the lingering things too is you worry about these guys who, getting that confidence back, being out there skating, with their normal cadence and feeling confident to go out and, lay a shot on net, rough somebody up. I mean, that's just the nature of it. But he's having been cleared to play. He's ready to rock. You have to think he's ready to rock.
Yeah, and the good thing, Dr. Ben, is I was talking to Doc, and we were talking about at least Forrester. He doesn't have the wear and tear of the season that he had to deal with, so there is a degree of freshness that he brings to the lineup.
Certainly. I mean, certainly, having, it's provided he's, kept that aerobic capacity, and just thinking about too, like having a key cog in the rotation back out there for not just for performance and, expectations for them, but, for morale for the team. It's got to be incredible having him back. So, we're certainly looking forward to this run. You draw a heated rival, much like the Sixers did, historic rival. Crosby at the end of his career, potentially a lot of bad blood over the years. There'll be the Sixers, Flyers, 6 years out. I mean, finally back. You have to think, South Broad's going to be rocking and rolling.
I love it. I love you're a South Philly guy. So what's your watch schedule, and what are you going to eat? You got to get some good takeout.
Yeah, always. I'm getting ready to get geared up for the weekend. For me, wings, pizza, and a light beer. That's usually my go-to. Yeah.
That sounds like a good. That's a good prescription right there. I'm down, baby. I love
no
it.
shortage of that in my neighborhood either. So
where are you at with part?
So it's like just east past Young, like 6th and
nice.
Yeah, exactly. So right down there, just
my
a
cousin
short
has a
mile.
store right. It's called Boys Town, Girls Town, right on past Sunken Moore.
Okay. Oh, I mean that's right in my hood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. All right, I'll see you at Laver 2 one night. All right, Doc.
There you go. And thanks for having me on. Go Flyers, go Sixers,
go Flyers,
Phil.
go Sixers, Doc. I'm the best.
There we go. Take care.
See you, buddy. From the Rothman Orthopaedics, we love our doctors at Rothman.